Grease with 10army.com. Here with two of my buddies here. Today we're going to be talking about pricing, how to make platinum, what you got to know, the ins and outs, and everything else. So let me go ahead and introduce our two friends tonight. We got Rogue Monkey online.
What's up?
And Big Schmexy.
Hey there.
So guys, how much platinum do you think you have made since Update 13? Let's give it about a month and a half or so.
Since then. Made or bought?
No, made. Oh, well, I mean, including if you resell and buy. What would you say, Rogue?
Well, in order to really answer that fully, I'd have to let you know the fact that when I actually started really into the trading game of Warframe, I started out with 1,000 plat that I personally bought myself because there's a lot of things in the game that I wanted to have and everything. But before I really started buying anything for myself, I hit up Trade Chat like most people do to try to get those better deals. And I noticed an influx of people with higher prices, lower prices, things like that. So I decided, instead of buying things that I could use right now, I'm going to go ahead and buy some things to make more platinum. So in all actuality, in about a month's time, which I haven't been on the game that long, I'd probably say I made upwards of about probably 4,000 off of the 1,000 that I actually put into the game already.
Wow, so you have to consider a little amount. So you play Trade Frame quite a bit.
I play the trade probably 75% of the time that I'm actually on the game. I mean, don't get me wrong, the actual game itself is fun, but there's just a thing about trading community for me that I just really enjoy. I like to make a profit. It's just what I do.
There you go. What about you, Biggs? Schmexy?
See, I was rolling with a disadvantage because I bought Founders, and I have bought a decent amount of platinum, but I spent most of it before trading came out. So I was playing with 100 some platinum when I started trading, and since I didn't have that much, I've only been able to make like 500 or 600 plat.
Okay, I mean, it's still pretty decent within a month and a half. I'm sure our average listeners haven't even made 10, 20, so, I mean, that's still going to help. I know me personally, I've made probably about ballpark in 2,000 to 2,500 is about what I've made in the last month and a half or so. So, we're all kind of in the same, we have enough experience to be able to help people out.
Yeah, well, I probably would have made upwards of a couple thousand plat if I had the plat to play with.
Yeah, it definitely does give you an advantage.
Big money. Yeah, if you want to make the big money, you've got to be able to find the deals on the expensive things. But even the deals are still pretty high priced, so I missed out on quite a few things just because I didn't have the money to buy and resell.
Right. So, here's a question that I think everybody wants to know. Prices. How do you come up with your prices? When you're pricing, when you go, copy paste your little post, how do you come up with your prices? What would you say, Monkey? Rogue?
How do I come up with my prices? Generally what I do, if I have an item that I want to sell, I'll watch the trade for a while. I'll also look at the actual forms itself and get kind of an average price that everybody's coming up with. And if I believe it's too low for an item, if I believe an item is rarer than the price that people are giving for it, of course I'm going to increase it a little bit to try and maximize the profit on the item.
What about you, Biggs?
I do similar things. Most people set their prices as you find an average. Somehow you get an average of whatever item you want to sell is, and you tend to mark it up a little bit so you can make some profit. And if you are patient, you're going to find somebody who's willing to buy it.
Yep. See, that's weird. I take probably the most different approach out of all of us. I actually keep tabs of everything I buy and sell along with some other friends, and we just kind of take the averages, so that kind of gives me a base price of where I want to buy and sell. If I'm looking to buy, obviously I'm gonna decrease the price, the average. I'm gonna knock it down a couple platinum and buy low, and then if I'm selling, obviously I'm racking up the price a little bit and selling it like that. Would you guys say that? Would you guys say that you're more of a volume seller, or do you just find like the big ticket items and sell? Like you were talking about earlier, it helps out when you have more platinum to work with to buy those big ticket items. What do you find yourself mostly selling? Rogue?
With me, I kind of dabble a little bit in everything, but I'd say mostly, since they're something that is probably needed more than anything, I like to do the rare mods. As those, like I said, are needed more than anything, people go for the mods. But I also like to dabble in the big ticket items. I just haven't yet gotten into them as much as I'd like to. There's just not enough of them around, let's say it that way. There's just not enough of them out there in the trade for me to pretty much start working primarily with big ticket items.
Right. What about you, Schmexy?
I don't have as much luck with mods, so I tend to go with prime parts, and I try to get good deals on rare ones or cheap ones, and I dabble mostly in prime parts.
Yeah, prime parts, for me, it's where it's at. Like, if you play the game, you're going to get mods. Like, any mission you run, whether you're doing invasion missions, or you're doing the alerts, or whatever, or unlocking different parts of the solar system, you're going to find the mods. Eventually, you're going to get what you need. But I find that you have to actually put work into getting mods. Let's say corrupted mods, you actually have to spend time to go find the nodes and do them, so those sell well. Or like the Vault mods, the corrupted mods, again, you have to find teams that go do it, because you're not going to find them otherwise. And like you said, the blueprints so really well, because you've got to go find the keys, get a team, and go in it. It seems like you really got a plan to go and get those items. So for me, I mostly sell the blueprints, also because people don't know the prices. I find that they're the easiest thing to buy for cheap and sell for high. I don't know if you guys have the same results on blueprints.
Blueprints, yeah, I actually tend to find blueprints like I was doing earlier. A good example, I sold a Lex Prime blueprint for 35. Then I actually went and ended up buying 4 more for 5 plat apiece. So, I mean, blueprints are definitely a big thing that you can actually buy cheap and sell for a good amount. Because everybody wants to make warframes, everybody wants to make their weapons, so... like mods, the blueprints are definitely a huge selling point, so...
Yeah, you guys actually have lists, like a list of items that you try and buy and sell, or you just kind of look at the trade chat and whatever looks good you buy?
I tend to watch trade chat mostly and just see what's popular and what prices they're kind of going for.
What about you, Schmex? You got a list?
No, I try to stay current. I find I don't even necessarily go through trade chat to find what's selling. I just know what items are rare and have the lower drop chances, and I try to buy and resell those, buy cheap, sell high, and it tend to do pretty well.
Yeah, that's a good way. I actually have a list of all the things that I buy and sell. Like, for example...
You're the most organized out of all of us, that's for sure.
Yeah, it sounds that way. But like I have a list on the side of what items take the least amount of time to sell. Like, what can I buy and I know within like in the next hour I can sell. And those are what I try and buy a lot of at lower prices. For example, like the Orthos Prime. If you buy a blade, or you buy the handle, or you buy like a glaive blade, and you buy it cheap, within the hour you're turning that over. You're making a 200% or 300% profit, easy mode, like without even trying very hard. So those are some of the items that I try and sell. I was thinking about in the future maybe posting a list of those things, but since they fluctuate so much, and not only that, but I think I might make too many people angry and giving that type of information out, because I know a lot of other people have that similar list as I do. But we'll see how it goes in the future. But let's go in and tell everybody, if you're able to give the viewers one piece of advice, like one selling point, what would you let them know? What would you give them, Rogue?
One big thing that I could say is a big part of making platinum in this game, and any other game actually, is do not take a seller on their first price. Do not be afraid to haggle, and do not be afraid to wait to get the price you want.
There you go.
People
Absolutely.
are always willing to come down. Always.
So, like, if you're selling something, or if you find a guy trying to sell you a blueprint for 10 platinum, what would you normally do? Like, what's your routine? You contact them and you say what?
Somebody, I see them selling for a blueprint. Let's say the blueprint's really worth 20 and they want 10 for it. I'm going to message them and say 5. We'll see where they go from 5 and really kind of get a feel for how they feel about it. Either they're going to say okay, they're going to haggle it back to say 10 or more, or they're just going to tell me I'm a noob and stop wasting their time. So I'll initially start out with the lowest price that I think I could possibly get it for, and then kind of go up from there.
Right. What is your process on that, Schmixy?
Personally, I tend to do the same thing, although I'm not as patient as Rogue is. So if I know something's worth 20, I'll probably get it for 10, and I'll probably sell it for like 25.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What would you say? What would you be like your one point of advice you'd give people, Schmixy?
Well, since Rogues was more of a buyer's tip, haggling, as a seller's tip, patience, because that's how I get all my good deals. Is if you know something's worth something, you get your rare thing, your high ticket thing, somebody's gonna buy it, and it might not be right away, and it might take a week or so. But if you're patient, you can generally sell it for above market price. And there's so many people out there who just want to unload stuff, where they'll wait a couple of days and the price will just keep going down because they just want to get rid of it. As a seller, you have to be patient enough to get the good price.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that all of us can agree on. I think the last thing I'll leave people with with buying and selling, or to try and find prices, is to keep a log of everything you do, because prices do change from one week to the other, depending on new patches or content change, like keys are easy to get, or maybe a lot more people are looking to get a certain item because a video came out, so everybody wants to try their build or whatever. But keeping a log of everything you buy and sell, or even if you don't buy or sell, like let's say you offered somebody something and they just said no right off the bat, you can kind of keep making that same offer to other people for that same item and see if it sells or if it doesn't sell, to give you a better idea. I know personally, every time I sell something, I keep a log on it, and then if I offer the same price as been selling and they say no to it, I also keep a log of that to go, okay, is the market getting unsaturated? Is there not enough demand for the item? What's going on? Why is this item not selling at the price that it normally sells for? Or maybe the guy just doesn't know any better. But I think keeping a log of it, or even asking other people that trade a lot, like always get a second opinion. Like if you're not sure on things, I find so many people that I give them a price and they don't have any idea if it's a good or a bad trade or a sell, but they'll take my word for it. I'd be like, dude, it's a great price, you just take it. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's a steal. I'm like, okay, and they'll do it just because I said so. So always try to get a second opinion on the item and make sure you're doing the right thing. Make sure you're getting your money's worth, your platinum, and coming up on top on the deal.
Definitely. Hey, and another little piece of tidbit that I'd actually leave buyers and sellers with is, when it comes to, if you want to play the market and you want to play trade to try and maximize your profit and everything, really watch trade. Instead of jumping in there and just buying like I did 1,000 plat. I mean, that's the part I did, but the second part here I didn't actually do, because I've been doing this through several games throughout the years, is go in, buy the platinum that you want, and then go in and spend an entire 24 hours, an entire day just watching trade. Now, what you're going to look for is not what's for sale, it's what's being bought. Watch those WTBs and see what people are really trying to buy. Like right now, Rhino Primes in his parts, and pretty much all the Primes actually, are really big right now. So really watch what's being sold, being asked for, and then jump at those items. Go ahead and invest that 1,000 or however much you decide to buy into those items that you know people are buying, because you spend an entire day looking and seeing what